So in my recent book, Seeing Around Corners, How to Spot Inflection Points in Business Before They Happen, I look at the critical issue of strategic inflection points. Now, that whole concept came into being with Andy Grove's book back in the 90s about Intel going through this massive inflection point and how he led the organization through that. And his book was really written about, I'm in the middle of this inflection, I've got to get through it, it's a crisis. What I got interested in was, how do we go back in time before the inflection is obvious to everybody and it's upon us? And that got me thinking about, where do you go and look for the signals, the early warnings that something is about to change in your business? And so what I develop in this talk is what I call snow melts from the edges. And it borrows from Grove's observation that if you wish to know where spring is going to make itself felt, you must travel to the edges because that's where the snow is most exposed. So in this talk, I'll go through 8 specific things that leaders can do to help themselves be positioned to see what's going on at the edges of the organization, where these changes are first happening. So as an example, we'll look at the importance of personally getting out of the building, because as Steve Blanks very famously said, there are no answers in the building. How do you personally get out of the building? We'll look at things like visiting where the future is already living today, building on William Gibson's observation that, the future's already here, it's just not evenly distributed yet. So you'll walk away from this talk with a really clear understanding of some very specific behavioral practices you as a leader can take to get yourself out to the edges, to see where those changes are starting to bubble up before they wash over you and it's a crisis.